Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. I had a pretty serious break. Holidays, everything. Also looking at potentially a new job within the same company. Selling my house. I'm moving. This is the new place we're moving into. Because of this potential new job, kind of a lateral move in the company, I may be pulling away from some machining. So the content may shift a little bit, which kind of brings me up to this little update right here. Brian Lohnes is the editor-in-chief of Bang Shift. I mean, that's a big deal. But he's also the lead broadcaster for the NHRA on Fox Sports. He's got a little YouTube channel, and it's much more professional than mine, and about 60,000 subscribers. And he pointed out that folks should come to my channel and follow along, and our subscriber count just went up, crested past 1,000. Before he said anything, we were at about 500 or so. We're now moving past 1,000. So big deal, and super big thanks to Brian for the recommendation. And what he told everybody to come look at is what this is going to be a follow-up about, and maybe more content will shift that way, since we've doubled our subscriber count just for this one little thing that I'm involved in, and that's the Calliope engine. So let's go ahead and clear the air right now. I know everybody that's watching this content for the Calliope engine has looked at my previous video, and I'll put a link to that up in the corner somewhere up here, wherever, whichever corner it is. That was a tough video for me to do, because I was trying not to get copyright struck and like have the thing be held back, because there's content from all over the place, TV shows and whatnot. I had to put some music in there to kind of disguise the vocals, the announcing and whatnot. I had to, and some people complained about that, but if you look at the rest of my videos, you won't see anything like that. Also, toward the end, because we had very small subscriber count, I purposely referred to the Calliope as the Calliope, I think. And a couple times you'll see me actually struggle to say that word. But I did that on purpose, and it was to see if anybody was listening, and that long into a 35-40 minute video, but also to see if someone would comment. And one guy did comment, and I said, "Winner, winner, chicken dinner, you win the prize," you know. Anyways, the Calliope, Dan Shax project. He was gracious enough to let me help out in whatever way I can. I don't know. I haven't talked to Dan closely in a little while. You'll notice that the first video I did was, I think, 11 months ago. And like I said, tons of things going on in my life, getting in the way. But I have been working on this. And Dan's also, I think he's got other guys working on various aspects of stuff. But he's pretty tight with that IP, and he's not sharing those drawings with a bunch of people. In fact, I have to ask for drawings to keep working. You know, he's not giving me the entire package. That's a big deal. I honor his trust in what he's done so far. I will not I will not show any of the documents, the drawings, the original drawings. He's shared a lot of pictures of the molds and the sandcast molds and whatnot. But here's what we've been working on right here. Okay, guys, you'll see in some of my other videos, what I do is like a screen capture, like a function G, and that creates issues with editing this thing together. It shows up as a tiny little side screen, and I have to expand it out. And anyways, we're gonna, and yeah, also you can't see my clicks when I do that either. It's just the screen that's displayed. That's all it records. So we're gonna try and do it this way. Here's the current condition of the Calliope, right? Block as I have it done thus far. Now this is accurate for machining purposes. All the holes, all these angles, faces, and whatnot. There was some mention in Brian Lohnes' video about the copper sealing rings everywhere. I do not have the cylinder liners in here. This is just the block. These are oil drainback passages. Anyways, this is the condition I have the block in right now. And there are no water jackets in here. Now the cool thing is Dan had the water jackets scanned for me, because there really is no good way to draw these things off of the factory Ford drawings. Okay, so here's one of the water jackets right here. Pretty cool. It's a two-piece deal. This is the core that you would take a sand casting of this, and then do the reverse, and then that is essentially this piece, again in sand, and then that would live inside the entire mold, and then this would be broken up, and it would all the pieces, all the little bits would come out the freeze plug holes, right? So that's what that is. This is the outside of the block, freeze plug holes basically. And then this would be an oil passage right here. So this is wall clearance for an oil passage that would feed the lifters. This is the little spud that sticks through and creates the hole for one of the water pumps. This would be the driver's side water jacket core, right? Now, if I can do this correctly, let's see. Measure. Let's find from the center of that to the center of that bore. Will it do it correctly? Nope, didn't do it correctly. So let's clear the selections. Let's do this one more time. Sometimes it likes that line to that line. Nope. Kind of pissed off there too. Okay. Clear selections. Let's try maybe there to there. There we go. See the black line that shot across there? What is that number? That number is 125.73 millimeters. That's convenient, isn't it? Let's take that and move that to inches. Okay. And that, we don't want those kind of inches. We want not fractions, but decimals. And let's go 3 places. Okay, go. 4.95 inches from bore center to bore center. Now this is pretty cool when you think about what's going on here. Now, anybody that knows this project and has researched it knows that the Calliope is a 4.9 bore space, right? So why is this an accurate scan of the water jacket core? Why is this 4.95 inches? 4.95. It's got to do with shrinkage. So what I had to do was take these cores and I had to stick them into the block model that I have done already. And my goal was to take these guys and just delete them from the model, right? And when I stuck them in there, I noticed that the bore centers were off. If I lined this bore up with the very first bore, and I ran my all the way to the back, it was significantly off, right? 50 thou per hole. So what it is, after conversations with Dan and Dan talking to his guys at the foundry, these things are built with shrinkage predetermined. It's 1.017%. bigger in this case, right? Because as this molten aluminum cures, it's going to shrink 5/32 per foot. So what I did in this case was basically just turn this into a part file instead of a dumb solid body. Basically, this was an imported step file, so I had to turn it into a SolidWorks part file, and then I scaled it 1.017% smaller. And then if we check from bore center to bore center, this is a touchscreen, awesome little computer. It is exactly 4.9. And this was all done when they had these little, I don't know, I think it was described to me as little slide rulers for shrinkage percentage. Perhaps somebody can clue us all in on exactly what those little tools are, but that's the way I understood it, and that's where that's all at. Now, this surface out here is very different than what I drew, and what we have is this is not very well defined in the drawings, and I think what happens is the engineers and the mold makers, the pattern makers, have kind of like it's a lost art, right? And there was a standard, the way these things were done. Of course, there's a bolt hole that goes through here, so they had to leave material for that. But everything else is kind of sculpted away to keep this thing lightweight. And then what we need is, it's indicated on the drawings that the wall thickness of all these surfaces is 200 thou. So what I had to do, or what I have to do, what I'm working on, is building 200 thou out from all of these surfaces so that I can get all of these little angular surfaces in the side of the block. Is it necessary? Probably not, but I would like to make a nice model. You can see where this goes up, and then there's an angle in, and then we have all these little details in here, and this is going to project out 200 thou on the finished part. So I'm going to redraw the whole block starting from these guys, 200 thou out, and then basically project everything up, deck surfaces, and all the areas where we have bolt holes and whatnot. So we're going to start with these and redo the block. But right now we've got a block that we can machine off of, create modern drawings and whatnot. So anyways, that's where we're at with those guys. And right here, I'll give you a look again so you see what I'm talking about. You know, I drew the basics in here, but this still needs a lot of detail in these surfaces out here. Everything else is correct, very close anyways. See this angle right here? This also would have the same angle, but it would be cut away by the machining process for these outer head bolts. So that's not quite perfect, but it's damn close. And you'll see that I have the oil pan on here, which is finned, super cool. It's not finished yet. We're going to tackle that in another video. What I do have is this. The timing cover. And let me go ahead and throw a picture of that in the video. So we're going to overlay a picture. And you can see that there's a chain that drives. It looks like, I don't have, like I said, Dan hasn't given me all the drawings, so I haven't been able to put this all together and figure out how it exactly works. But it looks to me like there's a chain and a sprocket that runs the center gear of this oil pump assembly up front here. And it's driven off the crank, which is the next big hole up, right? Crank is way up there. And this is a scavenge pump. There's also a standard oil pump like we would know in a big block Ford or an FE. There's also an oil pump like that. So how it works exactly, I'm not sure. I haven't gone through all the ports and the holes and whatnot to kind of reason my way through this and figure it all out. But that's the gist of it. So we've got right here, we're back to the model. We've got accurate little bores here. I don't know what goes in there. Again, I don't have the entire model, but whether there's a bushing or bearing, but these are going to be gear rotor oil pump gears, and we're going to suck and pump oil through these 4 passages, and then the front of the cover, we've got some threaded NPT holes for either pushing out, pulling in, whatever it's doing, this scavenge pump system. Not sure what bolts on over here. There's a hole down right through there that runs into the oil pan. So you got 2 pickup tubes in the oil pan, and we'll cover that. We'll cover that in another video. But yeah, this is where we're at. Pretty darn cool. Pretty darn cool. This knob up here, yep, you got it right. Harmonic balancer would go up here, and this is your timing pointer. Kind of bizarre, huh? Some of these are recessed, machined in, recessed. Some of them are kind of proud, like this. This is how the drawings show it. And then some are quite low, like this. You've got your 2 camshafts up here. I believe this bottom one is a plate that carries a bearing, but I could be wrong. And I believe this one is just a cover up here. But yeah, super cool. Front cover is done. This is quite a bit of a feature tree here. The last little bit's really boring. It's just a bunch of fillets, right? Fillet, all fillets. Look at that. Look at that, crazy fillets. Goes on forever. Anyway, yeah. So front cover is done. I believe this is a magnesium part. Kind of why I gave it a different color. And we can go back to let me look at the computer screen. Boom, and close the part. Go back. See how it interacts with the oil pan. See the gap in there? They left a gap for the crush of the oil pan gasket. And this is a threaded hole. Would bolt on from the back side here. I have some cosmetic threads shown here. I don't have them shown here, but that's what it is. Anyways, we're crushing it. Here's those 2 passages that feed the front cover, the front oil pump. Here's the 2 oil passages. And let's see, how can I show this? Maybe I'll take the block and just hide it. Boom, and then we can look at this assembly. So there you go. This is where I'm at. I had to redraw or I had to draw from the original Ford drawings. I've got the front oil pump pickup tube and positioned it with a boss. Got to put a hole in there yet and thread it. But this is the front pickup. I don't have the boss in here. I'm using this to create a plane and actually draw the boss for the front pickup, and then I'll knock the hole in it into the hole that exists in the pan for these 2 pickup tubes, and of course round this off and make it proper. But there's also a pickup tube in the back here that kind of ties into the end of this, I think. So I have to draw that now think about this, what we're going to go through, what Dan's going to go through when he has to build this thing. Is he going to build this thing according to the way Ford would have done it? with a stamping and like silver soldering, or however this was done back in the day, right? Or is he going to maybe purchase a reproduction part that's very similar, because a lot of these things from Ford are very similar, and then modify it with a custom tube and a little clamp? I don't know. Is all this going to be machined out of billet? Don't know. That's going to be something that as things go into production, going to have to figure out the best way, most effective, most cost effective, and the best way to make this stuff. But these are the challenges. Like, this stuff doesn't exist, right? So it's all got to be handmade. So yeah, still got some work to do back here. Rear pickup, and then the oil pan will be all but finished. And then what I move on from there is valve covers. Dan identified the need for a model for the valve covers. So that's where we're at. We can show the engine block again. There we go. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. So yeah, this will be a much different video than the long 30-40 minute one where we went into the history of the Calliope engine. Notice I actually do know how to pronounce it. This one's just showing where we're at. The project is still moving forward. Casting the block is a big deal. Dan has he's told me that he's purchased a 3D printer that he would be able to print life size 1-to-1 the block, all of this engine stuff. Pretty cool stuff. Project's moving forward. It's a pretty cool project, and I'm really happy to be a part of it. Hope I can help out in any way I can to make this process easier. Nothing in it for me other than just being able to pour over these drawings. My wife helped me, like I explained in the other video. Each one of these drawings is like 17 feet long. It's 1-to-1, and they have several views and sections all broke out 1-to-1. It's a massive drawing, and what Dan was given was scans, sectional scans of that. So my wife, being the marketing professional and the Adobe person, I don't do it. I Photoshop, InDesign, all that stuff kicks my butt. So I asked her to help me stitch all this stuff together, even out its contrast, and make one single picture for the block. So when I was doing it, I didn't have to go through 7 different files to find the information I needed. It was just one file. And while I was doing that, I was looking over her shoulder and I said, Jen, we're the first people to see this since probably the 1960s, late 60s, when all this stuff was tucked away. We're the first people to see this as one drawing, right? Pretty cool stuff. Dan has that file, and I don't know, he's probably going to have it printed up like wall size and make some wallpaper out of it and stick it in the shop or something. But this is a pretty cool project. We found some things that might be questionable, and we might make some alterations. But the way Dan explained it to me, the goal is to reproduce this engine exactly as Ford would have produced it for 1968 Le Mans. Be very true to what it was supposed to be. I'm not going to go in and make a bunch of billet stuff and redesign the skirting on the mains or anything like that. This is going to be a very true to the original design product. Things could change, but down the road maybe it will be a billet block, or things will change for durability. Who knows? Weight savings. Who knows? First goal is to make some copies of this thing and help Dan. Probably, I'm just assuming, we haven't talked about this, but probably recover some of the investment in this thing. This is a pretty serious project, and it's not cheap to do. So anyway, that's where the whole project's at. And I will do my best to keep making progress on this and keep everyone kind of posted on where I'm at least, and just the little bit that I know is going on in Minnesota. Cylinder heads are, I believe, at the machine shop and making progress on that. The castings are done and at the machine shop. So the FE God is working on that. So good people in the camp over there. That's what I know. So anyways, thanks for everybody who checked in and has subscribed to the channel. I don't know. I didn't start this thing for money. I think it's pretty cool that, I don't know, maybe this thing can be monetized now, and I might make $5 a month on this deal, cover some of the time, and make it dangle that little carrot out there to keep me posting stuff. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And thanks to everybody for coming here, and I'll try and shift more of my content to covering what's going on from my aspect on the Calliope engine. So yeah, go ahead and subscribe if you're not. Give us a like, share this thing. Let's make this go worldwide. It's a cool project, and it deserves to. Thanks again to Brian Lohnes for pushing everybody here. I'll do my best to keep everybody in the loop with what's going on. But this is a lot of work, and I do have a full-time job, so this is kind of side work. Things won't move super fast, but they will. They are moving. They are moving, and they will continue to move. So yeah, thanks for being here, and stay tuned for the next video, and check out some of the other stuff. You may find it interesting. Don't be scared off by the Camaro race cars. That's just what my friends have here on the island. But we do a lot of drag car stuff. I've done some top fuel dragster stuff. Look for the wheel design. Machine some wheels for like a limited drag radial Mustang, Coyote powered thing that's being built in California. My best buddy's car. That's pretty cool. Some complete custom 17-inch sanders before they offered 17-inch fronts. That's pretty cool. But yeah, there's a lot of content out there. So enjoy, and again, thanks for everybody for being here.